Hello, my people. You're tuned into Bible Story Gist, where Bible stories come alive, Naija style. Today's gist, na correct one, no. We dey talk about the story of Ruth, the woman who loved, lost, but still chose destiny. Are you ready? Abeg, buckle up, because this one will touch your heart. See, this life will humble you. 1 minute, you're happily married, sipping palm wine with your in-laws. Next thing, your husband dies. You're a widow, broke, heartbroken, your dreams scatter. And you are left with nothing but memories and following your mother-in-law to a strange land where nobody even knows you. That was Ruth's reality. But guess what? God was still in the kitchen, cooking something bigger than she could ever imagine. Well, you see, as we dey shout, Japa, Japa today. They were shouting Japa, Japa that time. They've been talking about Japa since Bible days. The story starts in Bethlehem. There was a famine in the land. Everywhere was dry, no food, no hope. Hunger was dealing with people badly. Elimelech, his wife Naomi, and their 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion, looked around and said, please, this Bethlehem is not favorable for us. It's not feeding us. Let's move to Moab, a foreign land. Perhaps life will be good for us there. So Elimelech, his wife Naomi, and their 2 sons carried their load and shouted their own Japa to Moab. They crossed the border. But sometimes, God allows you to leave your comfort zone, not for enjoyment, but because destiny is waiting for you on the other side. Maybe God's plan was never about Naomi finding food in Moab, but about Ruth finding covenant back in Bethlehem. At first, life in Moab sweets them more. The boys even married Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth. Naomi might have thought, oh, finally, my family is growing. But just when it seemed like balance had come, 10 years later, tragedy landed like thunder. Elimelech died. Then both sons died too. 3 widows, 1 house, empty hearts, heavy tears. My people, life humbled them. Naomi heard food don't return to Bethlehem as God don't bless them. She looked around and said, there's nothing for me here anymore. I'll go back to Bethlehem. So she packed her bags to go back to Bethlehem. On the road, she told her daughters-in-law, my daughters, I beg, go back to your mother's house. I don't have nothing to give you. I don't have sons again in my womb to give you. You're still young. Find new husbands. And may God be kind to you as you've been for me. Orpah cried, kissed Naomi, and left. But Ruth, she held Naomi tight and declared words we still quote today. Mama, don't beg me to leave you. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people. Your God, my God. And where you die, I will die and be buried. Wow. My people, that's not ordinary loyalty for you. That's covenant talk. Ruth chose Naomi. But more than that, she chose Naomi's God. One decision, one vow, shifted her destiny forever. When Naomi and Ruth reached Bethlehem, the whole town whispered, is this Naomi? And Naomi said, don't call me Naomi, call me Mara. My life has become bitter. I come out from here with plenty, but God don't bring me home again with empty hand. They arrived at the start of barley harvest. But Ruth no gree sit down to complain like, there's no food this place, there's nothing. Ruth wasted no time. She grabbed her basket and went straight to the fields to pick leftover grains from the edges of the fields, just as God's law allowed for the poor and foreigners. Clap for Ruth, abeg. She not wait for help, she worked for it. By divine GPS, Ruth entered the field of Boaz, a wealthy and respected man. Then destiny showed up in the form of Boaz. When he saw her, he was impressed by her work ethic as she worked quietly under the hot sun. He asked his workers, who is this young woman? When he heard her story, Boaz walked over to Ruth and said, make you no go another person field though. Stay in my fields. Don't worry, I've told the men not to touch you. And when you are thirsty, drink from the water jars they fill. Kai, see kindness. Destiny connection don't land. They don't just start with romance. Sometimes it starts with kindness and respect. Ruth bowed and said, why are you so kind to me? I'm just a foreigner. Boaz replied, I've heard all you've done for Naomi. May God reward you. When Ruth got home and told Naomi about Boaz, Naomi's eyes lit up. Naomi clapped her hands and said, "My daughter, this is not ordinary. Oh. Boaz is our kinsman redeemer," she shouted. In Israel, a kinsman redeemer was a close relative who could redeem family land and marry a widow to continue the family line. Weeks passed. Boaz kept providing for Ruth quietly. Naomi's wisdom kicked in. She said, "Babe, it is time to take a bold but respectful step to secure your future." That night, Naomi gave Ruth the strategy. Bath yourself, perfume yourself, wear clean clothes, go quietly to the threshing floor, wait until Boaz finishes eating and drinking, watch where he lies, then uncover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what to do. Now, let me clear this so. This wasn't seduction. It was a cultural way of asking, "Cover me, redeem me, bring me under covenant." Ruth did exactly that. At midnight, Boaz woke up, startled to see her at his feet. "Who are you?" he whispered. She said, "I am Ruth. Spread your garment over me, for you are a redeemer." But listen, this wasn't desperation, no. It was wisdom and dignity. Ruth wasn't saying, "Marry me by force." She was saying, "Do the right thing." Boaz smiled and replied, "Don't be afraid. Everyone knows you are a virtuous woman. I'll do all you ask. But first, there's a closer relative. I'll settle it properly in the morning." Kai, gentleman 100% though. He didn't disgrace her. He didn't misuse her vulnerability. He covered her honor, protected her dignity, and gave her grains to take home. That's integrity. The very next morning, Boaz went to the town gates. In front of elders, he called the closer relative, explained the matter, and when the man declined, Boaz stepped forward. In front of witnesses, he redeemed Naomi's land and declared Ruth his wife. And just like that, the Moabite widow became the wife of a respected man in Bethlehem. From picking leftovers to owning harvest, from bitter loss to fresh beginnings, God honored her loyalty. Soon, Ruth gave birth to a son named Obed. Obed became the father of Jesse. Jesse became the father of David. And generations later, Jesus came from this same family line. From Moabite widow to Messiah's lineage. Now so destiny they do press up. Oh. Sometimes, the person God tells you to stick with doesn't look like your blessing, but they carry your destiny's GPS. Ruth didn't choose comfort. Oh. She chose covenant, and God turned her story into history. Yeah, let's dig out today's golden lessons. Number 1, hardship doesn't always mean God abandoned you. Sometimes it means that He is redirecting your footsteps. Number 2, loyalty and covenant they open doors. Waiting talent no fit open. Number 3, wisdom plus boldness plus character equals divine connections. A man who honors God will honor you. No shortcuts, no manipulations needed. Number 4, your background does not limit your future. Ruth the Moabite entered the genealogy of Jesus. Now, my sisters and brothers, Ruth's story is not just romance, it's destiny. God can use loyalty, courage, and character to rewrite your story. From famine to fullness, from widowhood to redemption, Ruth teaches us that one bold choice can align you with eternal purpose. God can use my loyalty, my courage, and my faith to rewrite my story. Chai, my people, what a gist today. If you're in your own root season, abeg drop a heart in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so more people will catch this blessing. Alright, Gist fam, see you on the next gist. Remember, this is the Bible retold like you've never heard it. Bye bye.